Good evening. My name is Duane Howard. Alfred E. Newman said, elections are when people find out what politicians stand for, and politicians find out what people will fall for. I intend on running my campaign, and my platform is simply a down-to-earth, honest, passionate resident of Southeast who basically has been your de facto city councilman for almost 20 years now. Southeast is the stepchild of Roanoke City. We have not had a voice of representation in city council since Ellen County ran. It is long past due. I've said many articles over the years at the city council in Southeast, and they take advantage of the fact that we're really taxation without representation. We can turn Southeast around with the Caribbean Research Medical Center that is coming. It is right at the front door of Southeast. They say initially there's going to be 1,000 grad students coming in. All of these people are going to be looking for homes. Southeast, we have an awesome stock of housing with spectacular views. But we need to turn the neighborhood around and upgrade this property. And it is not going to take millions of dollars. It is going to take simple dedication with the city of simply enforcing police laws and the code laws and the neighborhoods working with the city and the landlords. I have met with a few of you all privately, some over a beer, and I believe that there's good opportunity for us to work together. We can turn Southeast around. Our property values and home values will go up. That in turn is going to keep your real estate taxes down. I'm going to read mine so that you know I didn't copy John's answer. As soon as I get on city council, I start working towards developing a plan of action to formulate a structured working formula for better improved communications between the city government and the citizens of Roanoke. There is a serious disconnect on far too many levels within City Hall. This also would include neighborhood groups with their needed communications with boards, commissions, and city council members. Tied into this program would be the police department and city services. This would also be laying the groundwork for initiating a revival plan for Southeast and other problem neighborhoods. The key component here is the right council person with my background to achieve this goal. I'm going to address the question as I received it in the email and focus on the part about landlords. I've been watching and attending city councils now for almost 20 years. I rarely ever miss a council meeting. There aren't too many council people that could even say that. That's why I keep informed and knowledgeable. I've been at council meetings when some of your members that are here tonight have spoken at these council meetings. We have, going back to my previous answer, we have a serious disconnect that we need to work together with you, the landlords of the city. We need to have it where tenants need to be held accountable for their actions and their damage to properties. We need to have a system of tracking tenants somehow so that they can't just move out and move on to another property and again take advantage of and victimize another landlord. I have to agree with what all the opponents have said on this issue. I'm going to be maybe a little bit more blasé about it, but I don't mean it a bad way or anything, but the job losses and the company leaving any town seems to me as part of the evolution of change that is going to happen over the decades. Almost you win some, you lose some. We don't know, I don't really know the inner workings, management and the executives. I look at Southern and Advance Auto is why they left, and we can, it's pure speculation, but we're making up it, and we're making it up with the tremendous gains that have been announced of late. They are going to do what they have to do, and what they believe is in their best interest, no more, no less than what you would have if you had to do what you had to do. I was at city council meeting when Dallas and Dan sitting over here attended the city council meeting on one of the buildings that the city was giving away for $10. And your organization, I believe, made a $50,000 offer. Okay. But the answer to the question, in short, is that I don't agree with it. It seems to me it's fundamentally wrong that you have selected elite developers that are getting this property for $10. It's fundamentally wrong. I would oppose it, and it's another example that the extreme missing of dialogue that we have in City Council. Thank you. I was looking forward to this question. I believe that I am the only candidate who has the distinction of having served on the city's last Citizens Budget Committee, and Dallas Powell did serve on that committee with a few others from the Southeast. Our task was to cut $2 million from the budget. It was also the last committee for the Citizens Budget Committee that they put together. I believe that is because that we gave them such a hard time. They didn't want to bring in voices from the outside to hear our opinion, your opinion any longer, and they no longer do that. I have the budget at home. I look at it. I believe that we can reduce taxes. One of the first things that I would work towards is cutting city council's salary. It's a disgrace that they voted themselves a salary while they increased their taxes. I believe I addressed a lot of this in question 2 in working with landlords, but you got to know that if you put me on city council, you're going to have a friend on city council, the likes of which I would surprise you. Our code department in this city, I have stated over and over at these forums, they are corrupt and they're incompetent. They're not doing their job. And as a result, that's why we have problems with you in the Southeast. And it's got to stop. This city has worked decades trying to shut me up. Dragging me out of city council over Victory Stadium, that was because the mayor forbid us to criticize any of them by name. I skipped the Williamson Road Action Forum last week. They forbid us to criticize city council, past or present. They forbid me for questioning or my opponent. This is not the kind of government you want. You need someone that is going to speak the God's honest truth when they get on city council and look out for your interests. There isn't a candidate running that can match my civic participation, involvement, and successes over the past 20 years. Money, wealth, and big business is at play here in this election, as it is in most council elections. I have over a half-century of business experience. That alone more than qualifies me to be on city council. Any three of my opponents getting on council, you'll see the same old for the next 4 years. The Roanoke Chamber gave out an astounding $3,000 to the candidates they endorsed. Big business supporting big business. If you think that is in your best interest, then I'm not your candidate. If you want truth, honesty, and sincerity, and a dedicated, hard worker, then I'm the person for that position. As you all may know, this question came up at a candidates forum held at the Park Dance Club. It was a yes or no question. It shouldn't have been. I was the last one to have to answer, and I clearly knew in my mind what Sanctuary City was as it applied to San Francisco, and that young lady that got shot and killed. That upset me to no end. I took it as if it was a member of my family. I was truly saddened by that. I'm absolutely opposed to any definition of Sanctuary City in that category for Roanoke. So when the question and all the other candidates, they answered it yes with so much passion, I thought, well, they obviously don't mean what I'm thinking on the national issue. So I said yes. Bob Goodlatte wrote something that condemned us or criticized us for answering yes. I sent out a press release commending Mr. Goodlatte for taking that stance and criticizing us. I explained my position, and I stood up and called on the other candidates to rethink their position. I'm totally opposed to the status of Sanctuary City. No. And my answer to the question is no, if you remember what the question was. It is no, and partly because there are too many ifs, ands, and buts, zoning and all of that good part to it. But you know, my hair is standing on end in relationship to a question like this, and the example that the audacity of this city to try to sell a chunk of Fallon Park in our neighborhood for commercial development. We're not talking about selling it for a Fortune 500 company. They were talking about selling it. I had the freedom of information, discussions and emails from this city, and they were talking about selling it. It might be a donut shop. It might be a car wash or something like this. Your parkland that this city would take for such an outrageous thing. This is the kind of voice that you need on city council that follows every little maneuver of what's going on behind closed doors. And then the audacity of trying to put a propane storage facility that I'm proud of, that both I helped stop the sale of Fallon Park and stop the gas storage facility coming to Southeast. They'll understand when I get on city council, because when I came back to this city in 1996, the very first issue or problem that I ever heard anyone mention within any neighborhood group was code enforcement. That's the first thing I heard. I came here from big cities and everything, code complaints, problems I never heard of in my life. And it was that way in 1996, and 20 years later, it's still the very essence of what we're talking about now. And it's got to be addressed. 20 code inspectors compared to 4 that we used to have. I mean, that's proof that they're not doing their job. I mean, I know it. I have paperwork in my file to show the corruption. I brought it to the attention of our former city manager, Darlene Burchett. I'm telling you, we have got to overhaul the code department, starting from the top of the department.